What's her name? Is it Barb?
Ursula.
Ursula. That makes so much sense. She's so much like Ursula. How do I not remember that?
Yeah.
I'm going to start using that.
Unfortunate souls.
I'm going to start using... That was really good.
Yeah.
One of the scariest...
Great villain.
Do you know the whole theory that all villains in Disney are essentially drag queens? Watch. Jafar.
Okay.
Ursula.
Okay.
There's a couple more.
Got it. Hi, hello, and welcome to another brand spanking new episode of another Bachelor podcast. My name's Dylan. I'm saddled up next to my buddy, real Nicholas Davis.
Hey, nah. No, is that not it?
No, that's not it. And
Yeah, I won't do that. I do want to switch it up.
right, but you can't bring your failing to recognize what Ico is onto the podcast and then have that be your intro. I think that's a little insane.
You're right.
Patrick, the producer of the podcast, is, I'm sorry to say, not here with us this evening. Now, because our dear Patrick is absent, I'm going to take over PSAs for today because we've got a couple important announcements before we get into the show. First PSA, Patrick is a father. Little Elliot Hickey was born 8 pounds, however many ounces, on March 10th, 2020. And according to the makeup of the universe on this, her birthday, she is a Pisces.
9 months ago, I knew Pat was going to have a Pisces.
So everyone wish the new mom and dad happy new kid or something. I don't know. And practice patience tonight with Nick and I because of Pat's selfishness. We're going to be doing the final 2 episodes of the season completely on our own.
And though not having him here hurts the show a little bit.
Yeah.
The amount of fucking algorithmic attention we're going to get from this new child on our various social media channels.
Completely makes up for it.
Oh, yeah. It's like when a fucking tree fell on my car.
What's up with you and the F words right now? You usually work clean.
I know, but I'm trying not to have long pauses because we only have 2 people.
Okay.
So, as Malcolm X said, a man who cussed doesn't have the words to say what's on his mind. And I would tell him I don't have them yet. But what was I saying?
I don't know, but you quote that radical quite often.
I know. It's so funny.
Okay. Yes?
I really want to finish what I was saying. Oh.
Yeah.
I can't leave him hanging. I said a tree fell on my car.
Oh, that's right.
Tree falls on my car.
Right. And that's my fault for not listening because that's not like a innocuous thing. A tree fell on your car.
It's fine.
Yeah.
It's okay. You're hosting. It's incredible. It's incredible weightlifting. I'm feeling so encouraged by the possibilities of our podcast right now.
Thank you. Dude, you are in such a good place in life right now. You are just beaming with energy.
I am. I wish some crazy person wouldn't have created an Instagram account and told my girlfriend I was cheating on her erroneously.
Only dark spot in the mirror.
Right. And I will take care of it. It's a big priority.
Hey, if it's you, fucking knock it off.
Come on.
What kind of a crazy person does that?
And I really am trying.
So did you finish your point? Because I stopped listening again.
Yeah, tree falls on my car.
Right.
Love that car. First nice thing. Really the nicest purchase I've ever made in my life.
Sure, yeah.
Very excited about it. Tree falls on my car. Pretty devastating. But you throw that out in an awkward moment where you need some fucking small talk. I threw the F word out there again. It blows people's socks off.
Yeah.
I will walk into any random elevator all of a sudden. We'll be there silent. I'll be like, tree fell on my car. Boom. We're fucking instant friends. Did it again. I'm done.
Yeah.
Working clean.
I don't have anything like that. I just, I'm in an elevator and I have like, my parents got divorced when I was 11.
I mean, for the right person, that's hit or miss. Right. Some people are like, I don't know that pain.
Did you tie this back to Patrick in any way, shape, or form?
It seems like a net loss
okay.
that we don't have Pat here.
Got it.
But it's a net positive because of all the social interaction we're going to get, just like the car thing.
So, again, be patient because it's me and Nick for 4 hours. But anyways, we've got to get to PSA number 2. Frankly, the more important one. We have finally crested 1,000 reviews.
I have this theory. This baby was not going to be born until we hit 1,000 reviews. His head would not crown until our reviews crest 1,000 reviews.
Yeah, and I just a heartfelt thank you to everyone who signed up, and a special thank you to those who took the phone of a husband, maybe a sister, or maybe a perfect stranger, and just kind of left a review for us.
Extra points if you followed Patrick's advice of going to a quarry, buying rocks, going to then Target, buying a hoodie, going to Circuit City, but he called it something else.
Sure.
That was very funny.
Sure.
So you do all those things, and then you do what he only calls a smash and grab.
Right.
And you break into someone's house by smashing a window and grabbing some stuff.
Yeah, the very regional term smash and grab. A final thank you to Hallie and Ilana. You guys have truly been birds of war throughout this entire thing. Now let's get to the first part of this necessary 4-hour extravaganza. As we say every season, the podcast will not be that long, though who knows?
Easy.
So, Nick, may I have your general thoughts as you take down one of Jocko Willink's, what's the energy drink called?
It's called Go, and this flavor is... I'm going to come out and say easily the worst of all flavors. I do love Jocko with all my heart.
Yeah.
I love the citrus and I love the red.
That tastes like if someone cooked Flintstone gummies like fucking crack on a metal spoon. That's what that tastes like. That is revolting. I need your general thoughts.
Pretty good episode for usually the screeching halt that is the finale.
Right.
I enjoyed it. I mean, the spoiler-free thing is carrying me.
Yeah.
Still, I don't know.
Did you not write anything down for general thoughts?
No, I didn't. I do have it.
Do you have knots?
I will.
Okay.
After I wrap up my...
okay, sorry.
On the moment thought.
Okay.
I was almost there, kind of swinging this back around.
You're 100%. I just got a suspicion, and I just blurted it out, and it was inappropriate.
But you were right, and if you really dug into what I was saying, even though it was said okay, whole lot of nothing. Listen to the tape.
Rewind. Do
rewind.
Do rewind.
But no, it was okay again. For only 2. Should have been. Here's my actually final general thought. Overall sweeping general thought.
We're on video now, so you can see Nick's finger wave. He just waved his finger like Nene Leaks.
McKenna ain't got shit on me.
Right.
Ain't got shit on me. What is that from?
And you're not. King Kong ain't got shit on me. It's from fucking Training Day.
Thanks, Bud.
Yeah.
Bud's the word of the night.
Yeah.
And
you're nuts.
Oh, yeah. I was going to say it should only be 2 hours.
Great.
Because this was pretty much drama, but they keep teasing this end. I don't know.
What a hot take. It should be shorter.
Fair enough. Yeah, that's like... there's a lot of things...
How many people have ever said this show should be shorter?
There was... I don't know. There's a bunch of things you could compare that to. Like, it should be shorter. We're on video now. So fucking Dylan's Jim Halpert all of a sudden.
Can I have your knots?
Sorry. 72 knots.
Okay, so, I dread... I mean, when you told me last week that it was going to be 4 hours, I literally, like when you get bad news, and you're like, oh, it kind of like hits you in the heart. Mm-hmm. I have to say, the first part of this 4-hour extravaganza, again, the podcast is not going to be that long. I thought it was fantastic.
Ooh.
I mean, the tea that was spilled, the drama that was going on. I mean, this was tears, fears, lights, and mics.
I'm so excited that you're excited.
Oh, I'm so excited. I'm going to give it a big old whopping 87 knots.
Oh, man.
All right.
I'm excited to talk about it.
So let's get to Alice Springs. once again, a huge show up from another underdog tourism board. I mean, this is unbelievable. There's nothing out there. This is a harsh, inclement, life-claiming land, which reminds our Bachelor of falling in love.
I get.
It reminds me of less so falling in love and more Clint's March and the G, the B, and the U. So, anyways, Peter meets.
Are you talking about fraternities? What did you say? I knew you weren't talking about fraternities. That was hyperbole.
The G, the B, and the U.
The G, B, the U.
The good, the bad, the ugly.
I do love that
Sergio Leone.
The song. Yeah. Is that Sergio Leone?
I don't know. So, any hoodles.
Something of gold.
Peter meets up with his parents. Bud! Shut up, you old bitch. I'm kidding. She seems really, really sweet. But she's not. She's an absolute insane person. Spoiler. You're looking at me with a face.
No, only because I'm really waiting to get like a little gap so I could be like, hey, he's not a 3-legged dog that plays basketball.
Airbud wasn't 3-legged.
The real dog was.
No.
Yeah, he was.
He tells his parents about Maddie's quote-unquote ultimatum. Now, Peter's father...
Ultimatium.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Peter's father, who is a coxman of the skies, eventually says...
And he also looks like Dave Wanstatt.
Yeah, I was going to say that. His opinion on the matter is essentially like, the nerve of this young girl to try and sheath your blade. What a bitch. You know? Mm-hmm. It's not good for her from the jump. Hannah Ann is up first. I'll get to this later, but I've got a mea culpa to toss out. But she's very sweet. She seems very, very sincere. Of course, it's a filthy fucking lie, and she sadly stands no chance. But she sweeps the rents off their feet.
I had this huge theory, and obviously that's why they did it. Fucking Barb or whatever that psychopath's name is was yelling, "Bring our girl home," right. And I assumed it was Madi because Madi had been to their home.
Right.
Little did I know that we just go. It wasn't even their fucking home. It was some place in the desert, some fucking hut. Jesus Christ.
I know.
But yeah, good job, Hannah Ann. Well done. I've always loved her. Wasn't she my fucking? Shucks.
Oh my gosh.
I would love to stop cursing.
This new Nick.
We should get once a week. What do you think about Patreon money? Vocal coach.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Okay, so I will say she's crying a little bit too much for me. Just very, very emotionally invested. I think she can see the writing on the walls, and it makes her very, very sad. But do you want to chat, talk with father, talk with mother at all, or should we get to Peter sitting down with his father?
Peter and his dad.
Yeah.
Oh no, before that, Hannah and Peter's mom.
Yeah.
This was the biggest. I mean, everything about this woman's been a red flag. From her being excited 4 times in a windmill to every other thing time she's been on camera.
Right.
Every other thing.
Also, she got fucking double teamed in a van before they went into a party, which was like there's a time and a place for it. And
I mean, this was a red flag that I saw. She said, "I'm looking for someone." When she sat down with Madi before she started, before she asked any questions, she goes, "I'm looking for someone. Hey, bitch."
Right.
Peter's looking for someone.
Yeah.
And you have to support that decision or not.
You are a detailed motherfucker.
Shut up, Pat.
In his stead, you are a detailed motherfucker. Because that is a huge red flag. I mean, when people, you have to pay attention to people. People will show you dark corners of their heart sometimes, and you have to see them. You're wide awake. I'm wide awake.
A hard truth. It is in-laws can really destroy what could be a blossoming relationship.
I say all the time, I'm so thankful that I love my wife's family so much. It's unfucking believable how lucky we got. But anyways, he sits down with Dad, who asks, "What are you conflicted about?" See, he's blown through fucking Tulsa, wherever he's landed, and he's just very confused about the dilemma, you know?
Peter's like, whether or not to pick Madison or Hannah.
Yeah. To start, I feel bad for Hannah because as well as she's doing right now, her cunning is on full display. The only thing that Peter can think about is how he and Madi are, because I think I've gotten to the bottom of it. She's the one he wants to pick. So, I mean, it's just this graveyard with tombs that only read Hannah Ann. March whatever 2020. It's all she's seeing. It's like a nightmare she's walking through. I feel horrible for her.
But I mean, as Pat's school will tell you, I mean, coming in second with this much sincerity, kind of odd actually, is usually a good path to Bachelorette.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert, Claire Clawley.
Yeah.
But it's this whole shift in like this backlash of doing older.
Sure.
Just Mickey acquiescing to the seemingly loudest voice in the room of the insane asylum.
Now,
that is
I
Twitter.
don't think acquiescing is the right word. You know that Mickey does not back down from...
I think it's a misstep. That's why I say by acquiescing, because it's kind of think...
She's absolutely horrible. We have yet to give our Claire preview, so I don't want to step on my thoughts on Claire or yours. We need Pat in here, who will certainly say some very measured, not offensive things about her age, and her breasts. So
we're going to call our preview for The Bachelorette. I'm spitballing here.
Excited.
Another Bachelor podcast.
Okay.
Bachelorette Season 15 preview, Finding Clarity.
Okay, so anything else before we move on to something so different and so emotional? We really have to see it to believe it.
Barb, what's her name? Is it Barb?
Ursula.
Ursula, that makes so much sense. She's so much like Ursula. How do I not remember that?
Yeah.
I'm going to start using that.
Unfortunate souls.
I'm going to start using... That was really good.
Yeah.
One of the scariest.
Great villain.
Do you know the whole theory that all villains in Disney are essentially drag queens? Watch. Jafar.
Okay.
Ursula.
Okay.
There's a couple more.
Got it. Maleficent's a little draggy. Scar's a little, affectionate. Excuse me? Wrong word. Effeminate.
Effeminate?
He's not effeminate. He's just...
He is.
He is? He's a North London gentleman, who sucks cock. Okay, so
he's a man who wears women's clothing when he goes out at night.
Yeah, and he has an ecstasy habit.
And then he kills successful leaders.
Yeah, and great fathers. So Madison and the creatures around her eyes arrive next. Now, she's a very well-spoken young woman, I have to say it. She sits... Yes?
Yeah, I agree. Clapping back.
She sits down with Peter and she says, listen, your cock thing took over you, and... That's fine, but a failure of the litmus test that I presented to you, my possible future husband.
She's had this good response to a couple member of the psychopath team that is the Webbers. He's like, don't you know I'm in multiple relationships? And she's like, yes, but I'm also in a relationship.
Sure, yeah.
And I don't like it when I'm in a relationship, the other person fucks other people.
Right.
Despite the number of relationships they may be in.
Yeah. But it was fucking Vegas, honey. I thought that he was gonna just blather, but he did make a Dece pee. He said that. he said
Episode title.
Okay.
P can be Peter.
Okay.
I think it works.
All right, maybe. So he said that I didn't know you wanted to get married that night. I had two other girls, hot girls, who wanted me to have sex with them. What do you not get, you bitch? I mean, it was like, I don't know. He goes into full-blown MVP mode when they lean in and begin whispering to one another.
Yeah, no, he did very well.
I had no idea that he had that gear. Pulling out the game where she lost her tooth. Oh my God. That's a 98-mile-an-hour fastball up and in.
It's 100% the reason we are seeing live-action remakes of Lion King. People love nostalgia. 90s is in. She actually probably lost her tooth definitely in the early to mid-2000s.
Aughts, yeah, the aughts. But nobody wants to touch the aughts. There's nothing nostalgic about the aughts.
That's not true.
No,
Wait till we find it.
Matrix Reloaded.
Wait till we find it.
No, the odds were terrible.
Not
true. Great decade for movies. Really, really good movie. Maybe not a great decade, but there were a couple years in there that had some fantastic films.
The Other Guys.
I feel absolutely horrible for Madison in this position. She's never met these people, and she's being interrogated about how she feels about their son fucking the women she's competing against. It's a very bizarre, just fucking hyenas gang. If we want to continue with the Lion King, bunch of fucking the way that you drank that White Claw was disgusting. You pulled it up to your face, you realized you hadn't hit the right part of the can, and you spun it as though you were trying to get to the soft spot of a thick cock.
It was a great thing to point out how savagely I consumed that, but Jesus, Dill. Jesus, Dill. You had to go talking about cocks and such. Oh, Nick's using the word fucking a bit much. Look at you, guy.
Do you know who Harlan Williams is? His brother Jack sits down and asks Pete if he can really not have sex for 6 months. I think the reason why he's asking such a stupid question, or talking at all really, is because he sees that his older bro is really into this little evangelical with a 5-year-old dad, and he's like, Pete, what's going on?
He's like, Pete, don't you understand? I'm making it clap every day.
Sure.
I look like a troll, Pete, and I'm getting some. You fly planes, sir.
Right.
You don't want to do this. That dad's a weirdo. She's not putting out. You love fucking, man.
It was a great chat, but an even better chat was Madi versus Mother Weber. Now, this was, as the kids say, flames.
I just had written down flames. You stepped out.
You couldn't have.
I didn't.
Okay, thank God.
That would have been wild.
Yeah. So his mom kind of clues her into the fact that Peter's been lying about who he is for the past 2 months. Peter. I don't know how to put this, but he makes it clap, and you kind of go to church a lot. So, but. She also says that she takes umbrage with the ultimatum that Madi presented to Peter. Now, Madi, you go, girl. I mean, she threw it right back in her fucking face. Talked about it, but just stunning stuff from Madi.
It was, I don't know, the truth will set you free in many parts.
Absolutely.
It started from her giving very clear expectations, and Peter has explicitly, except not, but also tipped off in a montage of flowers and such,
right, violated
these stipulations.
Yes.
And now she holds all the cards. Right. So shut the fuck up, Mom.
Absolutely. And truth will set you free is you're 100% right here. The story's not changed one time. She said the same thing over and over with alterations to the defense depending on the attack that she's faced. But every time it's been brought to her lap, she has stared it down and she has spit in its face. So Pete's mom really leans into her role here. I don't know if she's thinking about a tragedy, but she's conjuring up the waterworks. She says that she's prayed to God and that Madison's the devil or something. I wasn't paying attention.
I spat projectile nearly across the room. Yeah. I think you nailed it, though. Yeah. Pretty much direct quote. She said, I'm getting a priest here as soon as possible. The power of Christ compels you.
So the family wants him to pick yes.
In Peter's mom's defense, Maddie's head did start spinning.
Yeah, I was going to say, she does have the full range of neck socket that an owl does, which is terrifying.
It's wild how so many of her actions parallel classic film.
Okay, so, and you know what? The eyelashes are a lot, and I wouldn't say that Monsters, Inc. is classic film, but you know the Gorgon that Mike Kaczynski's dating, and she's got her little snakes on top of her head that kind of like perk up and stuff.
Medusa?
Well, kind of a Medusa, but so moving on.
I will say I'm not one to overpromise social content, but I would love to do something with what we just do. I got to do that original one.
Maddie's, eyebrows or eyelashes are a lot like a Gorgon's braids that are snakes, except they're spider legs that are autonomous and move around. I swear to God, if you look at them, they move around.
That's number 6 on my list of social things
Got
to
it.
do. Only because I really want to do this one more recent one first. But to set it up, I have to do Madi as Michael Corleone.
So the family clearly wants him to pick Hannah Ann, and they can clearly see that he has zero interest in doing that, as can America, which is why they have a little bit of a knipshit here. Now, I don't think that they would use that word on account of their likely anti-Semitic, but they are having a little bit of a knipshit. Now, it seems like Method Mom's most important quality in a future wife for her son is her being really into Peter, which I don't know if that's necessarily a top tier quality to have in someone. It's important, but it's not, I see this and this is what I want for my Peter. According to your logic, McKenna would wipe the floor with both Hannah Ann and Madison.
And Chris Harrison, to be honest, would be in the running. He seems to really be fond of Peter.
Yeah. Now, I think that she may feel this way because her husband has never shown her true love and affection. I think this could be vicarious attraction to this kind of quality, but she begins weeping. And I don't know if you have any thoughts on the performance that she put on here in this here hut.
You say performance, which implies acting a little bit, putting on.
Mm-hmm.
I would say it's a true emotion, which is a mix of being inflated by the cameras and true psychopathic possession over your eldest son, who you think to be the real thoroughbred of the family,
right?
Not that little troll-looking dude. Despite, as we mentioned, he's making it clap every day, and is shocked by the fact that Peter will not be making it clap every day if he commits to Madi.
Yeah.
So I think that is real emotion pouring out of this woman who is not stable.
Right.
She is everything she's saying is genuine. Most of the time, it would be probably even more a little like, I don't know, well put, but the cameras are she doesn't know. She's torn by this. She's so used to having full manipulation over her little baby pilot Pete, who still lives at home.
Right.
And his little tiny centimeter Peter. You're never going to get a real woman. You have to have mommy pick your woman. You have a centimeter Peter.
I bet she fucking sucks it like a moil.
I didn't want to say that, but I was thinking it.
So,
that's disgusting. But he does that.
Eventually, he's like, hey.
He still breastfeeds.
He says that I want Madi more than anything and that love is blinding. I mean, I don't know what we're doing here. I want Madi more than anything. Jesus Christ. What is the point of this?
It's this giant... It's a rock, paper, scissors of we're not ending in an engagement. Right, going on now.
Yes, yeah.
Hannah loves Peter. Peter loves Madi. Madi loves Jesus.
It is. It's just...
Jesus obviously triumphs over all.
Right, of course. Now, we go back to the stew really, really quickly, or do you have final thoughts on this here, Sags?
Just that in this crazy montage that Peter's mom put together...
Right.
It was a finishing touch on a cornucopia.
Mm-hmm. A cornucopia of crazy.
Incredible use of alliteration by you. But yeah, it was just line after line of put this woman in institution. Early on, she said what I'm looking for, as I mentioned.
Right.
She said, a mother's intuition is never wrong.
Right.
This was earlier. Hannah is an angel on earth.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I've known you my entire life, she said to Hannah.
Yeah.
Bring her home to us. Don't let her go. We will welcome her with all the love in the world.
Yeah.
She's a dream come true, and God has placed her here for you.
Yeah.
This is what love stories are made of.
No.
Put her in a straitjacket.
Now, remember, this is a girl he's been dating for 2 months, a month and a half of which was consumed by anywhere from 25 to, 8 other women.
On top of that, only 90 minutes of which the mom has been there for.
Right. And then I was going to say her interaction with Hannah has lasted, not long at all. So these truly are the words of a crazy woman. And I think that a producer has tapped her on the shoulder and said, do you see that mouse back there? And when she turned and saw the double barrel pointed at her kneecaps, she kind of got the message to ham it the fuck up.
And ham it the fuck up she did.
Yeah.
Little did she know she would be used as ABC's punching bag for the last 4 hours of this television programming, because she is the cliffhanger and... Did I say punchline?
Punching bag.
I said punching bag, but she's also a punchline before Chris Harrison ends everything. He's like, and Hannah's mom, and Peter's mom. Everybody explodes.
Right,
in
exactly.
the studio.
She's getting punched. She is a punching bag and a punchline.
She's a punch. She seems to be punch drunk because she's a crazy person.
Speaking of punching, we've got to get to these ruse. But
she could be punched up. She's not very funny.
They cut to the fire types of Uluhu or wherever they are. We get some OTFs from Madi while they're flying in a helicopter, which you said was a little insensitive, and I agree. She's voicing concern about their relationship, and while America can see Peter falling head over heels in love with Madison, it's at this point where she says that she may be tired of fighting and that it may be time to surrender. That's when they sit down for a little cider. Why is there no alcohol? I'm not sure, but there should be alcohol. There should be alcohol.
I think she abstains.
No, can't be.
Are we talking about Madison?
Yeah.
We said water, Michael Corleone.
That's true.
And he made it was a very explicit point to say, what did he say?
Obviously that's what's going on. She abstains from sex and alcohol. It's unbelievable. I really, really like Madi, but this is apples. You're 24 years old. What the fuck is wrong with you? Have a drink. You're on television and it's 95 degrees out. So
get drunk, black out, get fucked after some cheese.
What are you saying?
I was just very succinctly summing up fantasy suites.
Got it. So whilst batting away mosquitoes, she tells him that a good warrior knows when to let another warrior fall in love or something like that. Is there any highlights from this?
Just that
you look so concerned.
I mean, we've talked so much ad nauseum. It's really the number one thing about the show. They talk in so much hyperbole about the love that is cultivated in these 2 months.
In these 60 days.
But never has it been talked about in such grandiose terms than Madison falling on this sword.
Yes, it was very ancient samurai fighting for the land they call their home. Gatling gun or not.
And, but of course, the land that Madison calls home is the possibility of being the Bachelorette.
Right. Yeah, of course.
It's a weird country name.
Hey, you forgot to preface that country with hot take.
Oh, I mean, it's all the girls' games.
I know, but Madi doesn't seem like... She seems genuine in this instance. She really does. And while the trained eye will see straight through this, it is important to remind people that she is a duplicitous little bitch. And she can call herself a warrior all she wants to, but her armor is made of nothing but lies.
I'm blown away, but also I will say, no matter how innocent any of them feel, they can go in with an open heart. But what they're thinking is, if I make it to hometowns, my baseline is 200,000 Instagram followers and a regular salary month to month for just hanging out. So I'm going to do my best. I'm going to act like I love this guy. If he's cool, he's cool. I'll spend a couple years with him. but actually winning this and getting proposed to, that's the runner-up in this competition. Going on and being the Bachelorette, unfortunately, all of them are runners-up to that.
But you're 100% right. Nobody wants to win this competition. Mm-hmm. Nobody wants to win this competition.
If you fall into this perfect relationship like Cassie Randolph, then winning is the ultimate prize because people love a couple. If you have a smoking hot sister who will like weirdly pose sexual for some Target ad with you,
right?
I mean, that's jackpot.
Have you been scrolling through those social media accounts?
I mean, they've fallen out of favor because I never really liked them. But I did linger for a little bit, and those are two good-looking girls.
Yeah, no, there's nothing wrong with that. You're a virile young man.
That psycho father and his trophy wife have cultivated the family they wanted to, and they are now moguls. He may not be the Jenners, but behind closed doors, he's doing very well for himself, and he has not left his couch.
This whole thing, her bidding Peter a Jew, puts Hannah in a very, very tough spot because nothing instills confidence like winning by default. Now, Madi says that she's going to think of him every day as she's flying away, which is a fucking lie. And,
she's looking at her bank account.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, do we think that Madi's going to be back next week? Harrison says, spoiler alert, she will, but in what capacity, If she comes back when he's getting ready to give Hannah Ann a ring, or tell her goodbye, and if she comes back at all, I think that it's going to be a bad move for her, and I think it will be she will not do herself any favors in the public image. I think that she will be persona non grata.
I haven't even really done the thought experiment of what if that, like, she comes back, what does that look like? I have no idea what's going to happen. I've been kind of like walking outside, eyes covered, hands over my ears, just like la 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 la. But the audiophile I get some stuff just a little bit through, and some of the shit I'm hearing is just some of the craziest theories that they're absolutely. I don't even know what's gonna happen. I'm trying not to know. I just hear some.
You better not know. You better not fucking know.
I don't know.
You better not know.
I don't know.
All right, so they get a candid shot of Peter, 1, waking up, 2, sitting up and thinking about what just happened, heading over to the window, looking out onto the horizon of Alice Springs, and also thinking about what just happened. The morning after the evening in which the love of your life supposedly leaves the show, I don't know how you could do such great faux candid work. I don't know. It would just be so awkward for me to be like, okay, yeah, I'll wake up dramatically, won't even hit snooze, and I'll immediately just start thinking about her for camera.
I thought what a really aggressive touch to like add to the drama of the whole thing was adding all that like monsoon rain in the middle of the Australian desert and having Peter look out of his window as Dido plays. What's the song? You know it.
If I didn't know it?
Because the ABC Bachelor did it.
Did they?
Yeah, you missed that part. Oh. They added all the rain in the middle of the Australian desert and they played Dido. Morning rain, it's what Stan samples.
What?
What's that song?
You're not speaking the same language that I speak. And maybe I sound like an idiot, but I just have zero fucking clue what you're talking about.
Do you know the song Stan?
No.
By Eminem?
No.
He's the psycho fan. That's where Stan comes from.
I don't like Eminem.
It's where the term Stan comes from.
I don't know what the term Stan is.
This is wild. You're looking at me. Are you Pat right now?
I don't know what the term Stan is.
It's too hard to explain then. It's an incredible song.
Stan?
I don't
get it. So,
Dido. Elton John covered it for Dido.
Oh. Is that the one?
Did you really just come up with it, or do you know the whole time?
No. I really just came up with it.
You better have.
Is that what it is? What are you doing?
That's a different one. That's a different one.
So,
but no, yes, what you said.
I don't know what Stan is. So Shitface comes to have a chat with him. They pretend like he's quote unquote in love with two people, which is the funniest part of the episode. Yet he's in love with two people. Yet he's talking about not surrendering and that Hannah has cooties and he hates her. I think he said something like that.
I thought cooties was a bit much. It's like act your age, Peter. When they showed him in the morning after acting sad after the whole Dido in the rain, I can't believe you missed that part. But no, all the stuff you definitely did see. Yeah, he was posing, I got you. And I took it too far. I'm going to say that. I'm going to say it was a little bit much, but I'm surprised you didn't get my references. But the point is, And if it was raining, and then he was looking out the
Just continue though.
That's the saddest scene you could paint. You should listen to Stan. You hate Eminem.
I don't like Eminem.
His hits were bad. He has so much.
I don't like that kind of music.
Fair enough. I
like Jerry Rafferty.
I can say I don't listen to it now, but sometimes.
Do you listen to Poco?
Mm-mm.
You don't know Poco?
Mm-mm.
Hannah Ann arrives, and Peter seems sad to see her. They head to a kangaroo sanctuary, which kind of melted my heart. But it did tell a very dangerous lie to the American audience. Now, kangaroos are not to be fucking trifled with, okay? They're one of the few species in the animal kingdom that has a dangerous jab. I can probably think of like 4 or 5. While these little orphans are pretty darn cute, just be wary.
That's exactly actually my point that I had. What they didn't show you, he's got this button. A garage door opens up in the back.
You're talking about the friendly man who built an orphanage?
Yeah. Who, by the way, when they first met, he hopped out of his Jeep, and Peter stepped all over his "Good day, mate."
Right.
He said, "What's up, guy?" It was right at the same time.
Yeah.
That was like.
Yeah, that you can tell Peter's a pussy because he stepped back when that man got out of that Jeep. He was very intimidated by him. Good day, mate.
Mickey was in the control room, and he literally just put a bullet in someone's head when that happened. He's like, why did he not know this? He says, "Good day, mate," and then Peter talks. What are you doing? No. One. Mickey doesn't miss.
Okay, so
will that happen again? And then the man. What I thought was very nefarious about this place, and they didn't show, was the man has a button. Garage door opens up,
right?
And instead of cute little feeding them bottles, it looks like Freddie Roach's wild card boxing gym, and he's training these kangaroos to fight. I don't know if you guys know this, but there's a huge human versus kangaroo fighting underbelly in Australia.
Yeah.
And the center of the desert is where the shit goes down because I think obviously the government is trying to crack down on it if they don't get their piece.
It's essentially like the vampires and the lichens from the franchise starring Kate Beckinsale, Underworld. So anyways,
why does she like these younger gross dudes?
He and Hannah sit down for... Great question, Nick. He and Hannah sit down for another close chat with more mosquitoes. Now, she can clearly see that he thinks that she has cooties, and she is worried about it. I don't know how she's able to put on a brave-ish face and just charge forward without confronting this at all. Like, hey, Hannah, why don't you just go like, hey, you seem off, and I'm concerned about that because... Well, I'm getting ahead of myself, but, we now get to the night date, a.k.a. the night before he's supposed to propose to her. So in this moment, you could really just ask, hey, what's going on? And she doesn't do that.
I thought she tried a couple of times. It was never perfect. But, I thought she tried to put him on the spot, and he just evaded. I thought he almost was telling her, hey, he said it's bittersweet.
Yeah.
He said whatever. I don't know.
Listen, she really only talks about how she's feeling. She doesn't ever ask him, like, what's wrong with you? And I just felt so fucking bad for her because she was, her and her boobs were ready for that last stand. I was concerned when he grabbed her that he was going to bury his hatred for her and just have sex with her one more night. But alas, he did not. My heart breaks for her because she's just getting dragged along, and it's so obvious that the girl he wants to marry is gone, and she got in that dress. The whole thing is just awful.
And I'm going to preface this by saying it was pointed out by a female baby bird, but at one time with that dress, it was kind of almost an auburn. I didn't even do that on purpose.
There you go.
And it wasn't super auburn. I don't know. I would have to see it again. It's crazy.
More desert blonde.
Okay.
Than auburn, I would say.
But someone did point out female baby bird, and then another female baby bird confirmed it. At one point, they're sitting down. You see her teal panties. Still sounds creepy, even despite the preface.
I was going to say, no matter how many times you said the word female, which in the correct context doesn't sound misogynistic, but you prefaced it, and then just with the way that you talk and the way that you are, you commenting on her teal panties, there wasn't enough feminism you could front load that with in the world.
I would say, I was just thinking about this the other day. I'm so excited to be covering 30 guys.
Oh my God.
To not have this problem of, hey, I'm going to talk shit about anybody you put in front of me.
Right, but then it does present the
line them up.
It does present the problem, though, that invariably one of us, mainly Pat, will take aim at the bachelor or bachelorette and possibly call them a race-baiting two-bit dumb whore, something like that. Rachel Lindsay I was referring to. So before we go, I have to say just a final mea culpa. I laid into Hannah Ann in the beginning of the season because I was so sure she was going to be the villain, and that she was poison. And while I haven't faltered nearly at all on that opinion, I do just feel very, very sorry for her. She's fought so hard, but sometimes a warrior needs to surrender. So that's our show. Before we get out of here, we have a jam-packed string of Nick Davis classic #segs.
I would love if you to offload this, and I know you host the show,
right? And
you lead us through it.
Sure.
You're talking to put in some segments so it doesn't seem like Nick's just tooting his own horn.
Right.
I just love segments.
Right.
I would even bequeath some of these if you really latch on and you're like, oh, I love that segment.
You would give me one?
Oh, anyone, but not probably Nick's Fire tweets I would keep.
Okay. Why don't you do the new one first?
Okay. This one's called, and this is working title. It's called Nick's Patreon Update.
Okay, I love that. Because it plugs the Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's also a bit.
And it's barely a bit. It's really...
Oh, excuse me, segment.
Yeah, segment. Also barely that. It's pretty much plugging the Patreon. But I think also we can make it funny because we're putting some pretty wild stuff on there.
Yeah.
So to update people about it. But what I want to call it, so that's working title?
Yeah.
What I want to call it?
Yeah.
It's Nick's Pat Dill.
Oh.
It's Nick's Pat period, all caps Dill. It stands for Nick's Patreon. And then I really haven't figured out that DYL.
Got it.
But I really want to call this Nick's Pat Dill.
It may not work. It remains to be seen. But regardless, we'll go with the working title right now and the brand new segment.
So what we have coming up or on there, and I will be posted by the time this episode goes. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to give a bunch of shit that probably won't be posted.
Right.
But the goal is to be posted.
Right.
So we got, obviously, our Below Deck Sailing Recap, doing a wonderful job over there.
Thank you, guys. I hope you guys are loving it.
I must commend ourselves when I say we're doing a wonderful job.
Yeah.
We're killing that. And Pat had a baby. We're gonna add that into the fold to make some funny stuff happening.
Sure.
Oh, man, we'll have Pat's baby here, but no Pat.
Yeah.
Just crying noise in the background.
Yeah. So what's the update us on Patreon?
So we got those Below Deck Sailing recaps.
Right.
Just the same recap type format that you've come to know and love. Very close. And this is, I've been very much enjoying our old stuff. This is from 2 years ago. We've now been doing this 3.5 years, essentially. This is from 2 years ago. It's the best of Bachelorette season 13, Rachel Lindsay season.
Yes.
We listened to a bunch of clips about us talking
It's a
about
best of show. It's a best of show.
And then we commented on those own clips of ourselves.
Yeah.
And it was super fun. But it was recorded so long ago that it's now a look back in time and so much has happened. And it's like, it's just fun.
Pat's a father now.
Yeah.
Pat's a father now.
It's very fun. The full Corinne review is there. And those are all guarantees. And then some more video content. We've got a bunch of episodes recorded. Going to add some stuff to it to make it unique.
Hey, that really was just a plug for our Patreon.
But I think there were a couple of things we said were funny. No, it was pretty much just a plug and saying what was on the Patreon.
All right, so next segment is a hilarious segment. It's a fan favorite segment, and it is, of course, as the kids say, flames. It's Nick's Fire Tweets.
Here we go. Nick's Fire Tweets.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite tweets.
And do you want to explain? Oh, you just did.
This one was from April 29th, 2019. Very recent.
Wow.
Fire tweet.
Wow. Not hopping in the way back machine for too long, are we?
We are not, but it's also very apropos for the time of year.
Yeah.
I begin. Spring cleaning tip. Remove clutter and save room by hiding your Russian nesting dolls, all caps, inside each other.
Now, have you said that one on this very show before?
I have a strychnine?
No. God, no.
Strychnine fear? What do you call it?
I don't know.
Yeah, strychnine fear, I feel.
No, I don't think so.
Strychnine fear.
Yeah.
I believe I have a strychnine fear that I have used this fire tweet before.
Yeah. So do you have another one? Just in case. You wouldn't want to be caught with your pants down.
I'd look like an idiot if I did, so that is exactly why I do. That is why I do.
My God.
I do have a backup. Although the reason it's backup, I guess, by nature, is because it's not like super fire. I mean, I'm just trying to work it out, babe.
What's the fire tweet?
The fire tweet is... Nothing gives me more anxiety than picking out an avocado. I think people get that.
I think that one's even more fire. And a little tip for you and yours. If you're ever trying to pick an avocado, Alton Brown once told me on his show Good Eats, which is chock filled with recipes that are overly complicated and not that good. But he did say when you go over to an avocado, if you pluck the root of the stem out from the seed and peer inside the flesh, it'll give you a window into the state of that fruit. If it's brown, you don't want it, but you could probably feel that on the outside. If it's a little too pale, you could probably feel it on the outside too. It's a little too hard. It's really next to impossible to get a perfectly ripe avocado straight from the store, come home, and make guac that day. I mean, you just got to set them next to some nanners for a while for them to fully mature. So thank you for that comedic take and for setting me up to kind of bestow a little bit of culinary knowledge on our and other Bachelor podcast listeners who don't often get to hear me talk about the culinary arts.
Well, guess what? After I explain this segment, I'm going to tell you something that will blow your mind.
That's how you tease.
Errors and omissions is where I point out places where we erred.
Thank you for explaining it.
And things we omitted.
Thank you for explaining it.
The thing that is going to blow your mind is that, guess what? Once again, we have not erred and we have not omitted anything.
Cometh King, you best not miss. We will be back to break down the final 2 hours of this 4-hour extravaganza. Will Madison return? Will Hannah Ann's heart be broken? Will Peter claim his own life? We don't know the answers to these questions, but we will be here.
Do you think that's a real possibility?
I absolutely think it's a very, very real possibility. Also, just because we've gotten to 1,000 ratings and reviews and more does not mean that you guys, new listeners, can stop, because Pat told us before he had a child that if we don't get to 1,500 by the end of next season, he's quitting the show. So we'll see you guys soon for like I said, the second part of the Bachelor finale. I'm Dylan saying goodbye. Nick, say goodbye.
Goodbye.